we all know that moment of panic when we have a big meeting coming up and we didn't prepare as much as we meant to. Life gets in the way, travel, conferences, all kinds of things happen. And unfortunately, there's not always enough time to pre-meeting plan. To help MSLs with this challenge, last week I gave you 2 AI-powered approaches to effectively pre-meeting plan when you are in a pinch. This week, I'm going to give you a 3rd AI-powered approach to add to your arsenal and help you have more effective meetings so that you can have better conversations and gather those great insights, ultimately help demonstrate the value of medical affairs. Let's dive in. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Katrina. I am the creator of Medical Affairs Strategy Hacks. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to helping medical affairs professionals demonstrate their value. A really amazing, great tool that medical affairs now has available to them to help be more efficient and effective is AI. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not leveraging it to its fullest potential, specifically MSLs. On a LinkedIn poll that I ran recently, 30% of MSLs reported that they didn't know that AI could help them in their day-to-day work. So I've been on a mission to help correct that, and you've seen that with a lot of my recent content, from how to stop being as overwhelmed with the scientific literature. I'll link that up above. How to uncover what your KOL values. This hack is a continuation of that. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is an overview of how you can use NotebookLM to help you more effectively plan. This is an additional AI tool that is a little bit more unique than ChatGPT, which I have been showing you before. Here's the scenario. You have a big meeting coming up with a KOL, but you didn't do as much planning as you wanted. And specifically, you maybe didn't dig into the publications as much as you should. As you guys know, this is something that can be very time intensive. We are going to take a prompt that I wrote prior on pre-meeting planning and showed you last week what that looks like in ChatGPT. We're going to do the exact same thing here with NotebookLM. Let's dive in. So to access this tool, you will go to notebooklm.google. Sign in with your Google account. Before I go any further, remember that you must comply by all of your company's AI policies and never ever put private or proprietary information into a public LLM. In this case, we are going to be looking at publications, so we are good to go here. When you log into NotebookLM, you will land on a dashboard that will ask you to start a project. When you start the project, you will be asked to upload your source documents. It looks something like this. So you'll see a panel of these source documents and then your notebook guide in the middle. This is where you're going to interact with the AI. What I've done here so that we can do a side-by-side comparison to ChatGPT is I have taken the exact same publications and prompts from last week and then plugged it in here. So you're going to see those 3 publications that we picked out for our upcoming meeting with Dr. Josipovich. And now we're going to use the exact same prompt to evaluate the output for pre-meeting planning to give us ideas and help us have a better meeting and be more prepared for it. One thing I really like about NotebookLM is that once you upload your source documents, you get this summary here. So you can see that it's summarizing these 3 papers about PN. Now we're going to take the exact same prompt that we put into ChatGPT and look at the output. I'm not going to read the whole prompt for you here. This is available to you on the Medical Affairs Value blog, but a quick overview. We've assigned the role as an experienced senior MSL, and that we are about to have a meeting and we need to prepare for this particular meeting. So we enter some information about the particular KOL that we're meeting with, as well as putting the publications here on the side. Now the prompt is designed to give you 10 different outputs around pre-meeting planning to help you have a good conversation with this KOL. It's things like key takeaways from the paper, their pain points and challenges, emerging topics, how you can open the conversation. The idea here is not that you will take this information verbatim and say it in that meeting. It's to give you ideas so that you can plan for that meeting effectively yourself. Sometimes our brains get a little bit drained when we have to think of the ideas and we're stressed about other things. So this is a really good starting point. All right, let's look at the results. What is it saying? I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here and start taking you through some of these results. At a high level, I can see that the output from NotebookLM in terms of these 10 key pre-meeting planning takeaways are very similar. Gives us a nice overview of the papers, suggests motivations and research interest, pain points and challenges. When reading through this output compared to the ChatGPT output, it's pretty similar. There are some slight nuances, but overall, I would say the output is basically the same. However, one thing that is really great about NotebookLM is the transparency with where it's pulling the data from the source documents. You probably noticed here that we have a lot of different numbers. And what's great is that you can click on these numbers, it shows you which source document it pulled that from, and then highlights where it pulled it from. If you're one of those people that are a little bit skeptical of AI and the hallucinations, this feature in NotebookLM is great for that because you can just quickly fact check and verify where it's pulling the information from. So if we look through the rest of this output, as I mentioned before, it's very similar to what we saw with ChatGPT, maybe some slightly different nuances. Again, the highlight is really that it has this potential to show you the spot or highlight in the source document where it pulled this information out. Has some great suggestions for conversation starters. I know a lot of new MSLs struggle with that. One area that I noticed it differed in is on key collaborations. And this was different both in the custom GPTs that Vivek demoed for us last week, as well as the output from ChatGPT. Each tool is pulling out a different key collaborator. And because of the ability to look at the citation in the source document from Google's NotebookLM, I can see that, for example, when we click through how it identified this doctor, it says Dr. Sean Quantra, a co-author on several publications, is a notable collaborator who could be mentioned. So for example, when we click on this, we can see that he is the first author on this particular publication. If we go to the second citation, we can see that he's also the first author on this one. And lastly, he holds another authorship position on the final publication. This is a really great insight and related to some of my recent hacks on KOL access and the importance of utilizing warm introductions. I'll link that up above and down below for you. KOL access is challenging and it's only going to become more challenging. So leveraging warm intros is one of the best things you can do to get in front of some of these top KOLs. Maybe you're struggling to get a meeting with Dr. Josipovich, but maybe you have a really great connection to this collaborator. This is a way that you could potentially get some time in front of this KOL. Jump over to the Medical Affairs Value blog to look at the comparison of this output from NotebookLM compared to ChatGPT, and also to try out the prompt. All of this information is available to you. I also did a nice little summary comparing ChatGPT, Cite, SciSpace, NotebookLM, so you can start thinking about which tool you want to try. I really want to encourage you to start experimenting with these AI tools. They're not going to go away, and it can be a huge game changer in terms of not only saving time, but having deeper conversations with your thought leaders. I have a ton of resources for you on the Medical Affairs Value blog. Definitely check that out. If you found anything useful in this hack, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube channel out. If you would like to get notified of my new content that I produce on a weekly basis, subscribe to my newsletter and get a summary email to your inbox every Monday morning. Thank you.